Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. This is a beautiful Shabbat Elul. The month is underway. We're getting ever closer to Rosh Hashanah and the high holidays, and we are delighted to be with you this evening for our Shabbat service. So without further ado, Alan and Carol Cannell will light the Shabbos candles for us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Our service continues with Shiru Ladonai on page 13 of Mishkan Tefillah.
Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, da 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 da, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, da la 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 la. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Go Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Go Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Asru miyom le'yom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Asru miyom le'yom Yeshuato. Oh, ya da 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 da, la da 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 da, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la.
As we get ready to welcome the Sabbath bride on page 20, Lechadodi, let me share a reading. Yiddi Nefesh, dearest soul, meet us in the fields of our days. Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King, bless us with renewal. Source of life, show us the wells of living waters. Loyal sovereign, bring your realm of prosperity. Let the glory of Shabbat dwell within us. Let the hope of forgiveness enliven us. Let the taste of real rest comfort us. Let the promise of renewal sustain us. And we will glimpse the world to come as you bless us. And we will become strong and humble in your word. We join together.
Lechadodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamur v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmianu el hamichad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, v'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lechadodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Yihi mekor habracha, mirosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'moshe v'tchila. Lechadodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Idoreri, ki va'orech tu miuri, Shabbat nekabela, lecha derdi lekrat kala, Shabbat nekabela, Roi v'shalom, ateret bala, banges ncha utzola, toch emunei amzegula, boi chala, lecha derdi, lecha derdi lekrat kala, Shabbat nekabela, lecha derdi lekrat kala, Shabbat nekabela.
Lechatzi Kaddish, page 26.
Yitkada v'yitkada shmei Rabba.
Amen.
Ve'amad yivarach yirtei ve'amlich malchutei. Ve'chayechan uv'yomechan uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv. Ve'maru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam u'lam le'omaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shmei kodesha b'richu, le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma li'maru amen.
We rise for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Yes, God, we are ready to pray.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Roll into dark, roll into light.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boream, Delilah, Ulel, or mipnei choshech, Ulel, or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Continue with the Shema. Just taking a moment to feel grounded, safe, secure in this space on this Shabbat. We take a deep breath in as we prepare to chant these sacred words. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta, found on page 36. Love Adonai your God.
Love Adonai your God with all your heart. with all your soul and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise.
Michamocha, reminding us what it must be like to stand on the shore and to take the first step in, not knowing whether you will sink or swim, but assured that the journey is worth the risk. Michamocha, page 40.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, no tehilot oseh pele, no tehilot oseh pele, malchutecha ra'u v'necha, v'kayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zelianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch, Adonai imloch, le'olam va'ed.
Hashkivenu, page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leShalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
The Shamru, our song for Shabbat, page 44.
Yai, 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 da, 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 yai, da, 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 yai, 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 da, da, yai, da, 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 da. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael. Chayin Apash Vishamru Bnei Yisrael Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat L'Dorotam Berit Olam.
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We rise for the Amidah, the Tefillah, our call to worship, page 46.
Adonai Sefatet Yiftach Ufiyah Ki Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Metim Atarav Le'Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh Metim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'Geverot, Umidom Elach, Melech Memidu Mechayeh, Umatzniach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah lehachayot metim. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hametim. Atah kadosh. Atah kadosh. B'shimcha kadosh. Atah kadosh. B'shimcha kadosh. U'kdashim b'chol yom. Yechalelu ha'asela baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We take a few moments for the prayers of our hearts.
Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam.
Page 60.
Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki hatahu melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Ki hatahu melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
Take a few moments to think about those people in our lives who are in need of healing, physical, emotional, spiritual. And if there are those people in your life, I hope you will call out their names, put the sound of their names into the air this Shabbat evening. And we pray that their caregivers, that their medical caregivers and their family caregivers, that all those who look after them are blessed with courage and strength to help them to heal. Mishaberach, page 253.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor Abraham Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor Abraham Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
When I prepare the monthly Yartzeit list for the newsletter or for the screen you see during Kaddish, I take a few moments to look at the names and at the family members, to acknowledge that each name represents a life lived in the context of a family, community, time, and space. Last month, it was my father's name that I, of course, dwelled on the most. How can it be 13 years already since he died? But it is all the names that form the metaphor so often referred to in Judaism, the tree of life. All of our departed loved ones rest on communal and personal branches that construct us as a community and you and me as individuals. We are parts of those who came before us, and this brings me to our Torah portion. Like much of Deuteronomy, Parshat Kitavo outlines what the Israelites are to do once they arrive in the land of Israel. As we would expect, after having settled in the land, the Israelites are to plant crops and orchards and vineyards to sustain themselves. But when the harvest ripens each year, each Israelite is commanded to bring an offering of the first fruits to the temple and then recite the following words. My father was a wandering Aramean. He went down to Egypt with only his family and became a great nation. The Egyptians dealt harshly with us. We cried to the God of our fathers, and Adonai heard our plea and saw our misery and our oppression. God freed us from Egypt and brought us to this place and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And I now bring the first fruits of the soil which you, Adonai, have given me. The Israelites are not asked to give thanks for the rain or the sun or even the crops themselves, but rather to recall and retell the story of their people, the story of their ancestors. By uttering these words, the Israelites locate themselves not only in the present moment, standing before the priest in Jerusalem, but also in the past, casting themselves as living links in a holy chain stretching back generations. We live in a culture which subtly encourages the opposite. Consumer culture values the new and disposable over the old and the enduring. But many of us notice this lack. We feel the need to be connected to something lasting and substantial. We long to connect to our roots. Research indicates that connections to friends, family, and community are an essential part of living a happy, healthy life and responding to life's challenges with resilience. Psychologists Marshall Duke and Robin Fivush asked children about their family histories. Do you know where your grandparents grew up? Do you know where your mom and dad went to high school? Do you know an illness or something really terrible that happened in your family? The more children knew about their family history, the higher their self-esteem, the higher their sense of control over their lives, and the more successfully they believed their families functioned. The Do You Know scale proved the best single predictor of children's emotional health and happiness. Duke said that children who are the most resilient have what he and Fivush call a strong intergenerational self. In other words, they are aware that they are part of something larger than they are. The stories of the Jewish people, both mythic and historical, function as family stories. When we tell these stories and locate ourselves within them, we build within us an intergenerational self. Sharing the stories of our families and our people reminds us that if we look beyond the edges of our lifespans, we see that we are not just drifting through time, but that each of us is a precious phrase in a beautiful, ever unfolding story. Our service continues with the Aleinu, page 282. I invite you to rise.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהן, וגורלנו ככל המונן, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
remain standing for Kaddish as we take a look at our list of September yard sites and think about those people in our lives upon whose shoulders we stand. And then we join together in Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit gadash shemei rabbah, B'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chaye chon v'yom echon v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala b'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'miran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. It is traditional to recite Psalm 27 during the weeks preceding Rosh Hashanah. Here is an excerpt. Hear, Adonai, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me and answer me. When thou said, seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, Adonai, will I seek. Hide not your face far from me. Put not your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Leave me not, neither forsake me, O God of my salvation. Elul is the month in which we come ever, ever closer to God as we prepare for the Yamim Noraim, the high holidays. And to continue our preparation, we are throwing in a few of the melodies in these Shabbat services to get us in the mood. So I invite you to join with us. Adon Olam, if you have Mishkan Tefillah, page 321. Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nira,
Li'et Nasa,
Li'et Nasa,
V'chef Sokol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, De'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora, Adon Olam, V'hu Haya, V'hu Hoveh, V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara, Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nira,
Li'et Nasa,
Li'et Nasa,
V'chef Sokol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, V'hu Echad, V'ein Sheni, L'ham Shelo L'hachbira, Adon Olam, V'li Reishi, V'li Tachlit, V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra, Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nira,
Li'et Nasa,
Li'et Nasa,
V'chef Sokol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, V'hu Eli, V'hai Goli, V'tzur Hevli B'yet Zara, Adon Olam, V'hu Nisi, Umanosli,
Menakosi b'yom ekra
Adon
Olam.
Olam.
Adon Olam.
Asher Malach.
Asher Malach.
B'terem kol.
B'terem kol.
Yitzir Nivra.
Yitzir nivra.
Le'et Nasa.
Le'et nasa.
V'chefso kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. B'yado avkiv ruchi. B'tishan ve'a'ira Adon Olam. Ve'im ruchi gaviyati. Adon ali v'lo ira Adon Olam. Adon Olam.
Adon Olam.
Asher Malach.
Asher Malach.
B'terem kol.
B'terem kol.
Yitzir Nivra.
Yitzir nivra.
Le'et Nasa.
Le'et nasa.
V'chefso kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. And we say with all of our panelists who joined us this evening,
Shabbat Shalom.